warroomsports.com. Get that mobile app.
What up, football fans out there, and welcome to another edition of Field Vision, brought to you as usual by War Room Sports in conjunction with the Sports Kings. I'm one of your hosts at the round table. My name is Dev, and I'm here with the homie Frank from the Sports Kings. What up, Frank?
Yo, when you have a quarterback like Jimmy Clausen, who's 1-9 in his career, you got to start him over Jay Cutler.
Let's go to Jay Cutler's biggest fan. We got Fred, collegefootballextra.com. Fred, what's up, man? What's up with Jay?
Oh, Jay Cutler. When you have a quarterback like Jay Cutler, man, if you got a quarterback like Jay Cutler, man, you can just lose a season instantly. Thank goodness for college football, by the way.
Yo, speaking of that, Jimmy, since I did lose in the Final Four of my fantasy league, Jay Cutler was my starting quarterback, so I would have had to be like Super Judas and go with Tony Romo if I did make the championship.
Damn.
What up, Jim?
Yo, shout out to everybody who listens to the Serial Podcast, man. Free at 9, or no, don't free him at all. But yo, Fred Purdue, I just definitely want to say, if everybody goes back and watches the first episode of this season, his Bears prediction, and he said the reason the Bears would win is because when you have a quarterback like Jay Cutler. So for those who don't get the reason why we mess with Fred Purdue, it's because that was really his reason for why the Bears would get over the hump. So we gotta throw that in his face.
Yo, Fred, do you realize that Jay Cutler has become like the Alex Rodriguez of the NFL? Like they're just paying dude like $16 million, and it's like, yo, stay over there. We don't even want to see you. Just chill over there. You're better off.
Man, Jay Cutler, fake.
And
they're in the meeting room yo, Jimmy, warm up.
Fred is one of these guys, right? Like, if he gets something right, he will never let you forget about it. So when he gets something this wrong, we can't let him forget about it.
So, we've been texting back and forth all week, and all he's talking about is how y'all thought I was crazy when I said the Niners weren't going to make the playoffs.
I had to do something.
What about the Bears?
3 out of 4 wasn't bad.
What about the Bears winning the conference, though? Like, come on, man.
3 out of 4 wasn't bad, though.
Yeah, we both. Well, the Lions. That was my pick.
Yeah,
they didn't do it yet, though.
I didn't pick the Niners to go either, though, Fred. I picked Seattle.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I picked Green Bay to win the division, and I picked Arizona.
He makes it up. He wants it to seem like we thought he was crazy when half of us picked the same thing anyway.
I know.
And on the first episode, it probably was like 4 or 5, maybe 6 of us on the episode. All right, so let's get into this. This is going to be a little bit different than how we usually go, since we haven't been with you guys for a while. We're just going to go down around the round table and see what everybody's biggest observation has been, either this past week or something that's led up to this week from the weeks that we haven't done a show. So, Frank, we can start with you. What topic would you like to discuss? What is your biggest observation?
I'm going to do a combination of both. My observation was that I was really surprised that Dallas showed up in a big game on primetime, beat your Eagles. Sorry, Dev. But the bigger takeaway is that one of those NFC teams is going to be really salty because New Orleans is going to be hosting a home playoff game, and there's going to be an 11-5, 10-6 team just sitting at home watching Drew Brees.
Somehow.
And Frank, they're probably going to be watching Drew Brees advance because they're going to get lucky. They're going to finally play like they're supposed to play, and they're going to beat somebody in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So no, that's an interesting topic. If I may start, hey, the Eagles blew that. Like, at some point, you have to make defensive adjustments, and if you're just going to let Bradley Fletcher stay out there all night and beat Bradley Fletcher against one of the better wide receivers in the league, then sometimes you get what you deserve, man. I mean, shout out to the Colts, my other squad. I need one squad to save the other squad. And if they don't save my other squad, then I'm just riding with them. I'm going to just trade on the Eagles. That's what I'm going to do from now on.
I'm playing both sides of the coin.
Bandwagon, because I've seen a whole lot of other fans do it in their lifetimes, and they can look themselves in the mirror. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that because it's hard sledding being an Eagles fan for 30-plus years. So shout out to the coach. You can either save us or I can just ride with you throughout the whole thing. But what are you guys' thoughts on this topic?
Go ahead, Fred.
The one thing that surprised me and that I've kind of observed all year is two things. The Rams, they've been better than what I expected them to be. They're one or two players away, especially a quarterback.
What about Frank's topic, though? No, we're not on your. I'll go to you next, Fred, on the topic. But I'm asking, we talking about Frank's topic. Whatever you want to shine. The Cowboys, coming through and winning that game.
I wasn't surprised.
Blowing the game, or
I wasn't surprised. I mean, Mark Sanchez has not been great, and the Cowboys are consistent enough to do something. I mean, Chip Kelly's not known for his defenses, just his offenses. They need Nick Foles back quick.
Can you say that again for Eagles fans, please?
Chip Kelly is not known for his defenses. He's known for his offenses, and Nick Foles needs to come back soon, very soon.
All right, well, my topic is kind of a piggyback off this whole thing. But we'll get what Jimmy has to think about either the Cowboys, Eagles, or the fact that one of them will be sitting home at 11-5.
My whole point is this, though, in terms of Frank's original comments, it was a good win for the Cowboys. I mean, they may need Nick Foles back, but I honestly don't think that makes that much of a difference. In the NFL, when you score 27 points, you're supposed to win. Their defense was horrendous. But the one thing I took away watching this game is I was wondering whether Dez Bryant's comments after the first matchup, are the refs looking? Because they got a lot of pass interference calls, and some of them were suspect. So I was thinking, maybe Dez Bryant is doing the old Phil Jackson job, playing the media to get some calls on the field. Mm-hmm. And then when they realize they can't even breathe on him, he's running right by him anyway. So, but then
I thought the same thing, honestly, Jimmy. I thought a lot of those. I thought that game in a league where games are called tight and everything is illegal contact or pass interference. I thought that game was noticeably called tight, which is saying something for how it was called in general. I did want to make another point, sort of piggyback off my own point, is that it's going to be crazy. Not only is Drew Brees going to be in the playoffs, but you might have two home teams in the playoffs that are underdogs, because you're going to have Ryan Lindley probably in the Arizona Cardinals maybe hosting a playoff game, and then you're going to have Drew Brees hosting a playoff game in New Orleans. It's going to be a crazy first round in the NFC.
And guess what? That fits in with this entire season.
Yeah, this season makes no sense. I've been saying it all year, and it gets crazier every year. The one year they want parity, they got it.
Well, before I make my point, I'm gonna jump in there and bro to you, Fred, since my topic was kind of it connects to Frank's topic. But before I say that, since he brought up the defensive penalties in the defensive backfield, I've been saying it all season, and I've been saying it on this show all season. They have to change that rule. You can't keep giving automatic first downs for a 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd and 18 or 4th and 18, and somebody nudges somebody for a 5-yard penalty, and they get an automatic first down that destroys drives for defenses. And
away from the action, though.
Saves drives.
A lot of that's been happening.
Yeah, they have to revisit that. You cannot keep giving automatic first downs. And my team has been the beneficiary of that as well, and you just can't do it. It's just not fair.
It makes a lot of not so great offenses look pretty dark.
It definitely does.
I think it just takes away from the credibility of the league, because we all know that they're trying to let offenses shine, but that's just blatant right there. That's crazy.
Yo, I actually wrote a chapter about this in my upcoming book. It's a shameless plug, but so what? And it's called PI equals BS, because the fact of the matter is pass interference is BS in itself. You can just chuck the ball 60 yards downfield and hope for a pass interference. And now everyone gets up from every play looking for the flag. First of all, I blame Michael Irvin for that, because I don't remember anybody doing that before Michael Irvin. But now it's just commonplace. Everybody does it. It could be no one around them. The ball could be thrown out of the cut that out.
Well, as far as the Eagles go, I'm tired of hearing fans, so-called experts, pundits, whatever you want to call them. I'm tired of them linking the Eagles to every quarterback who's free or who may be in the draft. If I see Robert Griffin III should go to the Eagles because he fits Chip's system, or the Eagles should trade up to get Mariota, fans just make things seem so simple. Washington had to give up a king's ransom to move up 4 spots to get RG3. The Eagles are going to be drafting like somewhere in the 20s. Do you realize what they would have to give up to get Mariota when Nick Foles, I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback, but he is 14-4 as the starting quarterback under Chip Kelly. But everybody's so married to this idea that because of what they saw in Oregon, Chip Kelly needs a guy who can run the football. They look pretty damn successful.
Can I interject on that? Because you did hit on a point, and I just really got to say this.
One more thing about the whole running thing, because people keep trying to link RG3 to the Eagles when everybody just either they didn't know or they seem to forget that it was RG3 and his daddy RG2 who basically told Mike Shanahan to stop running all that read option bull crap because he doesn't want to be a running quarterback. So you're trying to link him somewhere because you think he fits as this running quarterback when he says he's more Aaron Rodgers than Michael Vick.
Yo,
Both are probably
Fred, before you make your point, I just want to say death to the to that entire system and way of playing, like the read option. Because I saw the Broncos run a read option with Peyton Manning this weekend, and it might have been the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, no one fell for it, but they still ran it, and I was like, what is that? But anyway, go ahead.
But I'm just tired of everybody linking every quarterback out there to the Eagles when they won't
just don't
even
want
give
RG3.
their young quarterback.
Let's get to it. He just doesn't want RG3 as his quarterback.
No, but I just think everybody that they're linking the Eagles to, I think it's like silly what they would have to do for this person to fit in, like especially the whole Chip Kelly's going to find a way to get Mariota because he played.
They've been saying that since, just because of the Oregon connection. Yeah. But they probably can get RG3 for pennies on a dollar though. They can trade a Wawa.
And there's a reason for that. So why would you want somebody that you can get for pennies on a dollar?
Because half the people in the world really think that Chip Kelly is like the quarterback whisperer. They really do. Like,
believe it or not, going back to his college days, Chip Kelly he only had one true dual threat quarterback. His name was Dennis Dixon. He played about 10 games and then he blew his knee out. Oregon was number 2 in the country. They blew his knee out against USC and they never recovered. Jeremiah Masoli could throw a little bit. He could do a little everything. Darren Thomas was a pocket passer. Mariota is more of a pocket passer than a runner. He's just athletic. Chip Kelly does not always need a running quarterback, a la Matt Barkley being drafted 1 year ago.
But people just like to follow the crowd, Fred. One person says it spreads, and everybody says it.
It's a running backs-based offense, not a quarterback-based offense. You can plug any quarterback in that offense.
That's why I don't think Foles
not any quarterback, just about any quarterback.
I'm going to flip the Jay Cutler quote, Jimmy. When you have cornerbacks like Bradley Fletcher and Kerry Williams, the last thing you could be thinking about on an offense that scores almost 30 points a game, the last thing you should be thinking about is giving up the house for a quarterback. When there's always some talented D-backs in the top of drafts.
Like, they played on Monday night, and this is not even with Nick Foles. This is with butt fumble. As bad as they played on Monday night.
He doesn't even get a name anymore. It's just butt fumble.
Fan trash.
They scored 27 points though. Like, you're not supposed to lose a game when you score 27 points. You're just not.
You're not. And that's the difference, I think, with the defense. For me, I feel like with that defense, the change from that 4-3 to that 3-4, that I think is a big difference because the Eagles do not have the personnel to run that yet. One, they don't have that in the middle, and they don't have those pass rushers on the outside. And they don't even have they definitely don't have the secondary for that. So that is part of the problem.
The pass rushers.
I mean,
they're 4-3. They're 4-3 pass rushers though. They're not made for that 3-4.
Oh, you're right. Because Graham, even though he's having an alright season, he's a 4-3.
He's a 4-3
defensive end. He's not really. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to the Nick Foles thing, I think. I know it's cliche, but we have learned that the most popular guy on the team is the backup quarterback. Everybody was saying how
great Sanchez
how great Sanchez was going to be once he got in, and then all of a sudden it's like. And
we forgot how bad of a passer he was.
Eagles fans have been like this, and I know a lot of Eagles fans, and I mean you guys are a pessimistic bunch, and like it's always like when Nick Foles was in, even though what's his record, like 14-4, like everybody was calling for his head still. Yeah. And now that Sanchez is in, it's like, oh well, when's Nick Foles coming back? It's like it gets crazy in Eagles land since I interact with a lot of Eagles fans, and you guys are a very pessimistic bunch. And I hope that Nick Foles, you can fully appreciate Nick Foles. I just want to make a little aside to Fred's point. I thought Dennis Dixon was going to be the truth coming out of college because
I didn't.
He came out and with Michael Vick and all the mobile quarterbacks. I was like, yo, you got this guy in the NFL, he's gonna be crazy. But the other thing is,
Jimmy.
Yo.
Okay, I was just gonna say, Frank. You see how Frank being nice, like saying stuff about the Eagles fans, like he should just be like me and just say, I hate Eagles fans. Point blank.
Lay it on a bit thick there, buddy.
My main point was going to be to agree with Jimmy though is when you score 27 points in a game, you should win that game. The issues are really on the defensive end. I mean, that has always been the question with this Eagles team traditionally, going back to the beginning of the season. What most people thought was going to be the issue was this defense. They look good in spurts. They have a lot of speed on defense, but overall they just give up way too many big plays, which we saw. Des Bryant was lighting Bradley Fletcher up and just took his lunch, to be quite honest. And they play in a division. The next morning. They play in a division with a lot of dynamic receivers. Obviously, Jerry Rice, aka ODB. We've already.
Can I just highlight
crowned him? Media's already crowned
Randy Moss, aka Deshaun Jackson.
You got Des Bryant and even Deshaun Jackson with the Redskins, even though they're not very good, but Deshaun Jackson's a big playmaker receiver. So if you can't defend against those big plays, you're going to end up getting lit up every week. So,
can we highlight one part of the game that it was the first play of the game? How do you mess up special teams? You don't know that the man in front of you is going to
fall in the middle of the field.
Josh Huff, sir, please go back.
That being said, I think Dan Bailey's like the third best player on the Cowboys. Dan Bailey's so good. I could get into like a minute how Dan Bailey.
That might be true, but in that situation, Dan Bailey did that by mistake, yo.
Dan Bailey got a bad kick on the ball.
Yeah, that looked like a Madden glitch. That's what it looked like.
Oh, man.
Dan Bailey was like, oh, snap! And then they tried to do it on purpose the next play. All right, Fred, man, what's your biggest takeaway from the week?
I really feel like this Rams team has so much potential. They're a couple players away. They've got it on defense. Maybe a corner here, a safety there. Quarterback is the biggest issue. Yeah. Mariota is not the answer.
Mariota here.
Do not draft Mariota. I repeat, warning: do not draft Mariota, and don't.
You know what the alternative is?
Yo,
yeah,
we're gonna say this footage. Say the file. The file shall be saved.
Warning also: if you draft Jameis Winston, please pay for a handler, a PR person, as well as a person that can drive him to and from the club to make sure he gets home safely. Otherwise, draft him.
And somebody to drive him to and from the supermarket to make sure he pay for his cranberries.
You need somebody to have lunch with him so you don't get up on the cafeteria, start screaming.
And maybe a stud receiver. If they get those couple of things, I know it sounds so easy, but they can get those things.
Yeah,
Jeff Fisher seems like the right guy. Jeff Fisher can do enough. This team has been scrappy on defense, and I like what I see from that physical nature.
Yeah. Fred, the only thing. You are sounding like the fans that we knock all the time. You're making it sound.
It sounds so simple, but it's not.
The problem with the Rams, and I'll be very brief so we can move on. The problem, in my opinion, with the Rams is they're in a tough division, arguably the toughest division in football, especially when you look about 5-6 years ago. That was the worst division in football by far. The last two Super Bowl teams from the NFC came from that division. You know what I mean? And now you have the Cardinals, who already have 11 wins. So that's going to be the only difficulty with the Rams.
With 3 different quarterbacks, by the way.
Yeah, with multiple quarterbacks. So that's a tough division.
That's not going to end in the playoffs.
That's a tough-ass division.
About to be 4 different quarterbacks. I do agree with Fred. I think that the Rams do have a bright future. They're the team. There's a team like the Rams every year. It seems like there's I don't want to call them the good bad team, but they're the team that can play some tough teams close, and then they lose games that they should have won, and then they just have like this weird up and down season. I thought that team was going to be the Vikings this season.
Me too.
I thought the Vikings were going to be that tough team, but it did turn out to be the Rams. They are very much at a crossroads because it seems like they still have faith in Sam Bradford for some reason. So, I mean, if that's the case, I don't think they're ever going to get where they need to be with Sam Bradford at quarterback. One, because I don't know how good he is, and two, because he can't stay healthy. So between those two things, it's a real big conundrum for them.
Yeah, but number one is because of number two. Like, we don't know how good he is.
Right, because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, and Sam was the number one quarterback. He was the top quarterback by default. Exactly. They were the top guys by default. It wasn't like they were head and shoulders better than everyone else.
And right. He was the last guy.
But in a league where it's based on the quarterback, everyone is looking for that next guy. You're gonna spend that top draft pick because you're hoping that guy turns out to be something.
Yeah. I mean, and that's fine, but you don't have to. They have the means. I don't know how much. I think Sam Bradford's contract is almost up. The guaranteed money.
It's over the year.
They can part ways with them now. You spent the number one pick. Fine, it didn't work out. Go another way. But it seems like they still want to try it out and experiment with it. So it doesn't make much sense.
Eagles.
Yeah, maybe we'll
trade 6 people to get Mariota.
No, maybe Sam Bradford will go to the Eagles.
Clamoring for Geno Smith.
Oh,
I hate y'all.
Can I ask a question? Did Geno Smith really say that he felt like he had flashy enough moments that he was a Pro Bowl? I can't even say that all the way without laughing. He was a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback.
I don't know.
He had flashes of being a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yo, I take this dude at quarterback before Geno Smith.
I can't say that with a straight face, guys. I can't.
All right, Jimmy. What's your biggest observation?
Listen, I don't want to be cliche because the first thing I thought of when thinking about my observations for this week is that any given Sunday, anybody can be anybody. But anyway, forget that one. More specific, J.J. Watt is the best player in the league, and I don't care what anybody says about any quarterback. Yo, I watched him play, and there. Forget his stats. Forget the fact that he's the best tight end in the league. Forget that. Forget the fact that he's the best defensive end in the league. Yo, this guy makes plays, right, that don't even show up on the stat sheet. There were so many plays in which the run of the opposing team was stopped because they had 3 men blocking this guy. And I don't even think he's on drugs. I really think that he's been hit with gamma rays, and that's where he gets his strength from because I've never seen nothing like this. This guy is an animal. And
he got bit by a spider.
First pick, Fred's guy, who Fred said was going to come in and get 47 sacks in his first season. Now, even if he can play half as good as Fred predicted him to
47
play,
minutes yet.
Yeah, if he can play half as good as Fred predicted him to play, next year, opposite this, they are going to be a problem. My observation is I want someone just to watch them play and just watch J.J. Watt. Forget everything else. Just watch him.
Oh, yeah, that dude's
out of control.
Can I, from Pizza Man, from walk-on guy at Wisconsin who sold pizzas out of the back of his car, his beat-up car, to being where he's at now, he's coming on.
Yo, this is completely off topic, but shout out to my man from Xavier, the basketball player. That's an Uber driver in his spare time, not a police delivery man. He's an Uber driver overnight. That's a good gift right there.
No, but Jimmy, shout
out to Uber, yo. I will never catch a cab again as long as I live, yo. Uber is the truth. My fault. They ain't paying us, so let me shut up.
That J.J. Watt is the best football player in the NFL. It's cloudy when you say best player versus MVP. If you ask me if he's going to get the MVP, then I probably would say nah. But if he's the best player, yeah.
The fact that he's even in the discussion. I mean, I can't really think of a defensive player that's been in the discussion for best player in the league probably since Lawrence Taylor. You know what I mean? When Lawrence Taylor was in the league, everybody said he was the best player in the league.
Yeah.
So, I can't think of another guy since
at one point.
Was that?
I'd say Ray Lewis was in there at one point.
The way he affects the offensive line is almost.
There's one point where Ray did everything except for catch passes like J.J. Watt.
What does it say? I don't know if it says something about the Houston offense that not only do they put J.J. Watt in goal line situations, but he's not at all a decoy. He's pretty much the main target. Like, you got to double team J.J. Watt on offense.
We're putting him in to pass the ball. You better guard.
I don't know if that's more of an indication of J.J. Watt's ability or the indication of the rest of the Houston offense. You can just let the defensive end come in.
But Frank, I honestly think that if he played tight end for a game, he'd be the best tight end in the league. Like, yo, he's that talented, that athletic. He's a freak, man. Paul.
You know what they say? Defensive ends are tight ends that can't catch.
JJ versus
But he
Gronk.
can catch, though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
the best thing about and I agree, I've watched J.J. Watt for a whole game like Jimmy has, and the crazy thing is, like he's saying, the things that don't show up on the stat sheet, the hurries,
The hurries are out of control. He gets
the
a hurry
extra effort when he gets knocked down, and you just see him like scrapping at the on the field just to try and like crawl and get to the quarterback. Like that stuff is just crazy. You can't coach
the
that.
opposing quarterback completes a pass, it's still a hurry.
Right.
I mean, J.J. Watt just flinches at the quarterback sometimes. Dude just jump back and fall. So.
And he does it all 4 quarters. The guy's motor is out of control. Like he has to get hit with gamma rays. Like he's
about to be the Chuck Norris of NFL
he's
football.
He definitely is.
All right, so before we do some rapid picks for games of the week, Johnny Football, anyone? Johnny?
No.
Johnny?
I have nothing to say, but no.
We're
Not
gonna
yet.
give him some time.
Give him some time. He needs more people.
All right, we're gonna give him some time.
Johnny Football is he's exactly what we thought he was.
We don't know that.
Damn, I ain't think he was nothing though. Give him some time. It's his first game, his first start.
He's exactly what I thought.
By the way, they all had terrible first games.
I'll give him time. I'll give him time. But when you're already short, you don't have
I'll give him
don't
time,
read
but-
defenses really well.
Yeah.
John, can I be the person that's I don't like making really crazy predictions all the time. But 5 years from now, we may.
So wait.
5 years.
If we're
5 years from now, we may not see Johnny Football.
If we're gonna dig Johnny Football's grades, then what about your boy Clowney? What has he done this season?
Nothing at all. And right now, it's looking not too great for him either.
Yo, man.
Because when you have microfracture surgery as well,
bold predictions every time you open your mouth. That's what you do. You already wrote off Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota, I wrote him off. Actually, believe it or not, I wrote him off as a top quarterback in the NFL all last year.
Damn, see what I mean? Like you give him a chance.
That's a different question.
But then again, I said Jameis Winston has.
Let me ask you a question. Did you write Tom Brady off coming out of Michigan? Because Marcus Mariota was twice the quarterback in college that Tom Brady was.
I didn't. One, I was barely 10 years old when Tom Brady was coming out of Michigan, but
And now you pray to him.
But Tom Brady he was a good college quarterback. No one, I can't even say I knew he would be this good. I thought he'd be like. I figured he'd be like at that age. I thought.
So my whole point in asking you that was
okay.
give the guy a chance to play in the league because you never can predict how someone can play at the next level. Some guys peak at a certain level. So
Marcus Mariota is not the NFL quarterback he's going to be right now. It depends on coaching and how he's developed.
So many variables.
There's so many variables. Exactly. There's so many. Which team he goes to.
There's a lot of variables.
So many, you can't write him
How
off.
much advice LeBron gives him? I'm saying.
What the for me for Johnny is that. Johnny, forget all the off-field crap. I don't care about all that right now. Him as a quarterback alone is simply his feet are terrible. His pocket presence is not all that great. His arm isn't all that great. His arm is average to below average. So
was Joe Montana.
Yeah, you know what happened is that
Andrew
Luck changed the game. Andrew Luck changed the game. Now everybody feels like you're supposed to just step on the field and just go 11-5.
You know what?
For me,
Big Ben actually did that. Big Ben and Eli.
Yeah, that's true.
No. The Steelers went 11-5.
Yes.
No. I'm not talking about the record. I'm talking about the fact that Big Ben was adequate enough to even compete.
No, I feel what you're saying, but Big Ben just took the snaps.
For me,
that's all you gotta do.
Made them go 11-5.
That's all you gotta do.
He was the biggest reason. I don't knock him. But
I don't have
it's
a problem when teams like people not quarterbacks that know their role. Like I have no problem with the Trent Dilfers. Like
I'm not knocking them.
Some dudes don't know their role.
It's a different dynamic.
And they're the reason why teams lose. Like if you have a great defense and a great special teams and all that, sometimes just don't make mistakes, throw it away and punt the ball. Some dudes don't know how to do that. So I respect game managers.
Yeah, no doubt.
I can respect the guy that is the game.
Role.
But for me,
I was just pointing out that it's a different dynamic. This dude had to
Johnny
come in
Manziel's style.
He's still talking about Johnny. What's up?
Yeah. Anyway, man. Cut Fred off. Fred will have us here all night, man.
Fred don't like Johnny. Let's mark that down. No Johnny.
Save the file. No Mariota.
Mariota. Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater will be Warren Moon. Got it.
Not anymore.
All right, real quick. We ain't even talking about what's going to happen. We just talking about who's going to win. Baltimore at Houston. Frank, you got.
Baltimore.
All right, Frank. Frank, who you got?
Baltimore. When you have a quarterback like Tom Savage, Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Baltimore.
I'm going to take Baltimore as well. Keep them hopes alive. Atlanta at New Orleans. This is only a game of the week because these two bum teams are still in the playoff race. Jimmy, who you got?
Yo, I'm taking Atlanta. Y'all can laugh all y'all want to, but I think the Saints still stink.
But you have to. You have to.
I still think the
I took
Falcons.
Atlanta in the beginning.
I did
And I
pick
took
Atlanta.
New Orleans in the beginning, so we got to
Yeah,
stick
they both stink, but I think that they're going to. I think the Saints will find a way to lose this, and they're going to stink the rest of the season, both of them. And the Panthers will win the division because they both stink.
Saints still going to the Super Bowl versus Denver. I'm going with the Saints. Fred, who you got?
Give me the Saints. I picked them to win this division. Give me the Saints. I'm
I
sticking.
picked them to win the conference, and they still
You
won.
done picking to go to the bowl.
I picked them to go to the bowl. Hey, it's still alive, though. It's not a Jay Cutler pick. It's still alive. Frank, who you got?
Is there any word of Tampa Bay still in the playoff hunt? I got the Saints.
No, just the number one pick. That's all.
Saints?
Saints, absolutely.
Kansas City at Pittsburgh. Frank?
I got the Steelers. I'm pretty confident.
I got the Steelers in this one, too. Fred?
Steelers.
Jimmy?
I'm on the island. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
For a couple reasons, because the Steelers, they play better on the road. Two, I just like to see Jim Ricardo pissed.
Yeah, I know we did this in another episode, but it's crazy that we have to admit that some of those players that Jim was really overrated at the time have turned out to be. Remember we were calling them Antonio Rice and Le'Veon Dickerson.
Yeah.
Both of those dudes are balling right now.
I thought Le'Veon would be good. I didn't think he'd be this good.
Listen, man. Hey, yo, if y'all three put on Steelers uniforms, Jim Ricardo is going to overrate y'all, man.
Yo, you're going to be like, look at that dude, Dev Barry Sanders.
You're going to say, well, you got a quarterback like Frank Santa.
Oh, man.
All right, so let's go to my Indianapolis Colts versus Dallas Cowboys. I'm actually going to take the Cowboys in this one. The Colts don't really have much to play for. Eagles fans keep making up these scenarios of why the Colts need to play. The Colts, it's unlikely they're going to move up because they need Denver and the Patriots to lose out to move up. And that's not likely.
It's not likely, but this season.
It's likely in Eagles fans' words.
That not being likely means that in 2014 it might happen.
I'm hoping that my Colts are going to win this game for them and for my Eagles, but I'm picking Dallas to win this. Frank, who you got?
I think this is going to be the game of the week. I'm going to take the Cowboys in a high scoring game.
High scoring, fair. Fred.
I'm kind of alone on this one. I think I got the Colts, and I don't like it, but I think Andrew Luck can pull it out of them.
I think if DeMarco Murray sits, I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference because I'm not trying to knock the dude.
I need him to play.
He's tough, but I think when that line gets going, the way that they block, I think their backups are capable of doing it.
Yeah, Joseph Randall and Lance
if it takes two of them, they're going to take up the slack. Jimmy, who you got?
Yo, I'm taking the Colts. So you're not on the island with this one, Fred. I'm taking the Colts because I just think that Dallas will find a way to do what they do.
So you know what? Yeah.
I just do. They'll find a way.
They're going to do Dallas-like things.
Coming off that big win, they're going to be feeling themselves. And, listen, man, I'm taking the Colts.
Does Romo do Romo things? Old Romo things.
I'm looking for my Colts merchandise from the stadium, but I think it's down.
2:35 left on the clock, tie game. Romo throws a pick six.
Yeah, I keep saying that, and he keep proving everybody wrong.
Yo, but the funny thing is, that wouldn't shock me though. Wouldn't shock nobody.
It's not gonna shock me.
Like Romo
It has to happen at some
500
point
yards
this
and wouldn't
year.
shock me. He could throw 5 interceptions. That wouldn't shock me either.
Yeah. And the thing is that's going to be crazy if it happens because you know how it is with Romo. People who are detractors, they're quiet whenever he's doing great things. that happens, that's gonna validate their whole season.
Yeah.
We told you it was gonna happen when it really happened.
Absolutely, it will.
And I'm a Romo believer. That's the crazy thing. I'm a Romo believer, but
Until-
it's just, he has this.
Me too, but I hope that happens.
It's
My
one of those
team
things,
is
right?
bad.
Until he wins a Super Bowl, that's always going to be there. Like, yo, he can.
Even when he wins the Super
can
Bowl,
throw-
even
Nah,
if he
even when he
does.
wins one, it's
No,
gonna be
he
the same
can
thing
throw
they do.
still gonna be
52
there.
touchdowns, and they can go
Still do it
undefeated.
to Peyton.
If he goes
He
to
can
the
bowl.
bowl and throws a couple picks and they lose, I told you.
Yeah,
After he
Romo's
threw-
gonna do
no,
the
no,
same
he
thing
threw
as Peyton.
52.
They're gonna
Yeah,
look back at Romo's Super Bowl when they're gonna say it was a fluke. They do that with Eli. He's got 2 rings. They say, yeah, they were both flukes. They shouldn't have won either one of them. Like,
Well, seeing as Asante Samuel did drop that interception,
yeah, you see.
So Jimmy's right though.
you know,
Romo,
it hit him in the face. But
for Romo detractors, the only big game is the last game, the one. he
Exactly,
loses.
that's all.
Like every game could be big to get into that position, but if he wins it, we forget about that. Oh, he won that. Let's forget about that.
yeah.
Oh, he lost that one. See, he can't win the big one.
That's
Every-
because that's how
every-
people judge sports these days. They're idiots. Because I've seen it even with LeBron, right? It could be the fourth quarter. LeBron could score 30 straight points to put them in position to win. But if he misses that final shot,
He missed the final shot.
yo, he's not clutch.
Yeah,
He just
yeah.
scored 30 straight points, though.
Yeah.
He just scored 30 straight points to put him in position.
Michael Jordan messed that up for everybody.
Yeah.
Yo, FOH to Michael Jordan and his
Yo,
team.
Michael
Rewrite
Jordan.
Jordan's history too, but that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, I'm about to say we could talk about this on a Court Vision episode. Michael Jordan messed up a lot of what's going on in basketball right now.
Yo, and
Much as
life.
we love Mike, he destroyed this thing of ours, man. So, all right.
Anyway.
So, 2 more quick ones. Seattle at Arizona. Arizona's still surprising me. I thought they wouldn't win another game 2 weeks ago, but they're still not going to do nothing. I got Seattle. Jimmy, who you got?
Yo, I'm taking Seattle, man. They're playing tough football right now, and nobody wants to play them.
Yeah, defense is back. Fred, who you got?
I got a new nickname. Give me the Sea Chickens. Let's go.
Chickens. All right, Frank, who you got?
I also have Seattle, and I'm hoping that my opponent in the championship game continues to make the stupid mistake of not starting Seattle's Seattle's defense in the playoffs against me. So I hope he sticks to that. There.
Why would he not do that?
I don't know. He's playing. Who's playing Tampa Bay? He's playing. Whoever's playing Tampa Bay this week is who he's playing against me. I don't know why.
He's playing the matchups instead of just the defense. Yeah.
Can I just get one? Can Patrick Peterson play offense just like 5 plays, let Richard Sherman lock him up, and then we can get a big soundbite?
And we can finally get these people playing head-to-head to talk trash to each other.
Yeah, well, wait, the
All right,
Cardinals are going. Patrick Peterson might be the only guy left to play offense.
Yeah, I know. He might be playing quarterback soon.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jimmy's Broncos at Cincinnati. I'll let Jimmy go last on this one. Frank, who you got?
Yo, there is absolutely no way I can trust the Bengals in a Monday night primetime game with playoff positioning on the line. I got the Broncos in a blowout.
Fred, who you got?
Oh man, give me the Broncos because this might get ugly real quick.
I got the Broncos as well. I think the Broncos will actually start passing the ball again this week. Jim, who you got?
Yo, I'm taking the Broncos, and it's not even on no bias stuff. Y'all see it as Bronco gang, but at the same time, yo, I don't know who's going to show up for the Bengals. You just never know. Like they sometimes like the best team in the league, and they sometimes like the worst team in the league. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. That's the best.
They didn't switch running backs on us on the low. The Bengals don't know what they want to do, man. My man Giovanni is watching from the sidelines now. All right, so this has been another episode of Field Vision. Sorry that we haven't been at you guys for a few weeks, but things get hectic here in the world of sports journalism, sports media. Anyway, like we always tell you guys, be a part of the conversation. Make sure you like the page, first of all. Make sure you subscribe to the page so you know when a new video is coming out. Make sure you like this particular video here and leave comments in the comment section about all of the topics that we discussed. And if you have a topic of your own that you want to add to the list, pop it in the comment section and we'll talk about that as well. Make sure you check us all out, warroomsports.com. You can also talk about all that stuff you want to talk about on our Facebook page, facebook.com/warroomsports. Check Frank and the fellas out over at sports-kings.com. Don't forget the dash. The dash is very important. You can hear what Fred and read what Fred Purdue has to say about college football at collegefootballextra.com. So, all of these things, just look on our little lower thirds here. You get these addresses and our Twitter handles that I just gave you. It'll also be in the little box under the video. So, look, we'll be back next week, hopefully, if anything happens in the league that's worthy of discussion. Any parting shots real quick, fellas, before we go?
Yeah, I just want to shout out my own fantasy team, Cooper's Klux Klan, 12-2, going for the championship in a dominant season.
Yo,
I forgot to count the playoff game. That would make me 12-3, but I'm out. So.
Oh yeah, 13-2 then.
I'm in my No Mercy League. I got a juke joint team. Yo, out of 15 players in my team, I only got like 7 healthy. Yo, shout out to the Broncos running backs because I drafted like the starting. I drafted Monty Ball, right, and his backup, and guess what? Now I'm playing against C.J. Anderson in the championship. So how do I get 2? Yo, come on, man. That's my luck. But nonetheless, I'm in the championship with this juke joint team. So shout out to my squad as well. I got Alex Smith starting in the championship game. So y'all see how bad it is.
Shout out to the Miami Dolphins fan. I won't call your name out. But shout out to that Dolphins fan that bet me the Dolphins would make the playoffs for a Tom Brady jersey. Appreciate that. Christmas came early. Christmas came early.
Fred's gonna be rocking a new jersey on Field Vision soon.
Nah, he's just gonna put it up on his wall and just pray to it.
And shout out to my Howard Bison, and shout out to everybody out there who thought I was rocking a Buffalo Bills hat. All right. Like we always tell you guys, don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
See you chumps on top. We out.
Kuwait is the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.